Welcome to the first episode of Drawing With. I'm drawing with mascara. Let's get to it.
Okay, so I went to the nearest CVS and I got the cheapest mascara that I could find. It was about $3. As you can see, it's no different than any other mascara, I suppose. Yeah, so one thing I noticed right away was that it's pretty uncontrollable, unpredictable. This mascara, I don't know if any others are different, but this applicator has kind of like a hard metal tip. But I made use of the brush side of it, so you can actually get a pretty good amount of marks with this tool. Don't suppose that's surprising, but I wanted to show it in any case. You can use the side like this, and depending on the amount of pressure you got and the amount of mascara you got on there, you can really control the values. That being said, with light pressure, you'll get like those streaky, faint lines, and then if you just apply a little bit more pressure, it goes straight to 10 on the value scale. So there's a certain degree of control. I suppose it just requires a little bit of patience. You know, if you want to get like a solid mid-tone, your best bet is probably just to do a bunch of little wisps, quick brush strokes. You can see there that I also did some marks using the tip of the tool, and you can get some pretty interesting textures and patterns by kind of twisting the whole tool around. So you can do a lot of cool stuff with it. You can see here that I'm using the tip right there, but at some points I start using the side of it to get more of a mid-tone and more of a brush texture. Yeah. And then I dip it back in every once in a while to get those really dark darks. Yeah, for really fine lines, right, this kind of killed me a little bit here because I wish I had planned it out a little bit more so it wouldn't have landed in the middle of the page, or the spread, I mean. But, I mean, I'm still really happy with how it turned out, so. And there's that ambiguous shape under her arms. It's a backpack. I did my best to try and represent that, but I figured, it doesn't really matter. I don't really care. I was just having fun with it, really. I didn't even think I was going to start recording this. I figured, you never know, so I just started. Right there, you can see I was drawing the lines in between the hands, the fingers. And that took some time. You can't really tell because it's sped up here, but it took a little time. It's just patience, that's all. Here I'm drawing the cell phone in this girl's hand. I got this picture, by the way. I was going home from work. I got off the train, and I see these two girls sitting on a ledge by the dumpster by a Dairy Queen. This Dairy Queen that I pass by every single day. And I don't know, I just thought it looked pretty cool. Interesting image. I asked them if I could take a picture of them, and they let me do it. So thank you to you girls. I don't know your names. Yeah, one thing that's cool about using the mascara to draw is that I'm going to say it again, it's every mark, every stroke is unpredictable, so you always get something new that you weren't expecting. And you're working in just black and white. Every once in a while you'll get, kind of like a gray scale kind of thing, but really it's just black and white. It's kind of like how halftone works, It's not really, you're not really painting with gray. You're giving the illusion that the values between black and white are there, simply because of the nature of the applicator, that brush. So really what's going on here is I'm not really putting that much detail. I'm letting your brain do the work, fill in the gaps. There's so many lines and so much absence of line that your brain just kind of fills in the rest and says, okay, that's a face, that's where the line goes, and that's a nose. But as you can see, the nose is just this little gray spot, so I took advantage of that. It's a lot of fun to work with that, because you could really be liberal and not so caught up in details, which is something very important to keep in mind when you're doing any drawing. At least I believe so. Yeah, so I had the full picture of these girls. I'll put it up right here. And one of them was wearing, the one on the right was wearing these really cool black shiny boots. I really wanted to draw them, but when I got to the bottom of the sketchbook, I realized I had started a little too low. That's okay. I'm happy with the scale at which I started drawing them. Yeah, so this whole thing, this whole process, this whole exercise is really about just being forgiving with yourself, when you use such a unforgiving tool, you can't really be so precious with your lines. So you kind of just have to say, oh well. So as I'll be doing these videos, I'm sure I'll encounter a wide variety of different tools with different difficulties in terms of how to use them and how to apply paint or whatever medium I'm using. I guess the main thing to keep in mind as I go along with this, and if you try this as well, is that don't be so hard on yourself if you can't really get the line that you want, or the shape, or the value. This is really all an exercise in practicing how to not be so precious with your line. Because when you're not precious with everything that you create, you'll never be tied down, therefore will never be held back from creating even more.